Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Silver Tempest, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. For today's video, we are going to be talking PTCG Live because the global beta has finally been released, so I have finally downloaded this game and started to play it myself. I wanted to give some reminders, but also some insight into some things that we need to prepare for when PTCGO finally shuts down and we will be converting to the future, which will be Pokemon TCG Live. So it's unavoidable. It's going to be happening at some point. I imagine it will be next year. So it's always good to get that housekeeping done on PTGO so that we can maximize the value of our accounts as they convert over to live, so that we're completely prepared. So we can give ourselves as many credits and as much access to crystals and whatnot into the future. That's going to be the best way that we can prepare ourselves, really, for this game. So you can, like I said, download now. I'll put a link in the description below. You have to log in using your Trainer Club account and your password. And as soon as you do that, you will be given a prompt whether or not you would like to migrate over your TCGO account onto Live. And I suggest literally every person to say don't migrate. There is no reason to migrate proactively. It can only restrict your options. So I would always suggest not migrating. Even if you don't even play much TCGO right now and want to experience Live, you can definitely experience Live very easily just with the beginner decks that you get. I'm actually playing a beginner deck even though I have the potential to play other decks right now because they're just so simple and they are relatively competitive, at least on the early ladder, so you can still grind your daily rewards and get wins and achieve progress in the battle pass without the need for any of your cards that are currently on PTGO. You will be completely fine not migrating. They have a huge plethora of early decks that you can access and play with on Live, so it's not an issue at all. You won't feel restricted, and it basically stops you playing on PTGO as soon as you do that migration, and that's massively restrictive for online tournaments and testing. I just would not recommend it to anyone. Also, we can make more out of our accounts on PTCGO to make sure that when we do hit this button, the big red button down there, to nuke our PTCGO accounts, we will make sure that we are getting maximum value. That's what we're all about here, trying to make sure that we are not leaving anything behind and taking everything with us onto the new journey in Live. So, the overall message: do not hit migrate. Do not do that yet. At the very least, even if you're not worried about playing in online tournaments and all this other stuff and actually like the feel of Live, possibly there are some of you out there that do like that, you want to do this first. Even if you have the mind to migrate, these are the steps that you need to at least take to make sure that we are bringing as much over from our old account onto this new client. So, first of all, your little coins in the top right corner or next to your tournament tickets. I think they're just called player tokens or something. I can't really remember. Spend these in the shop. Get your untradeable packs or whatever else you want to spend them on, because these do not convert. They literally just go to zero. None of them come with you. So make sure you spend all of them in the shop. You also want to keep some unopened packs. The reason why we like unopened packs is because they convert into crystals, and we can actually use these crystals very efficiently, more efficiently than if we were to open these packets in PTCGO. The crystal conversion rate that we get if we keep 125 unopened packs, we will get a really good conversion into crystals, which then can turn themselves into celebrations packs on PTCG Live, which gives us insane credit per pack. So it's actually really important to stock up on some locked packs. Yes, locked cards do convert over, as do locked packs, and they count towards this. So bear that in mind. It also combines the two. So if we had, you can see on the picture here of the Evolving Skies, I have 18 locked and 16 tradable booster packs here. And if I was converting into Live, 34 packs would turn into crystals. So it does count both. You can have a total of 125 locked packs if you wish. They will come with you, which is fantastic. Anything over that amount of 125 doesn't give you any additional crystals. This 12,400 is the maximum amount of crystals you will be given for your remaining unlocked packs or tradable packs. So if you hit over the 125 mark right now, you can either simply open those packs and your way down to 125 again, or you can try and trade your excess packs for other things, cards and whatnot, to make sure you're making the most out of your collection. Now, here's the other big takeaway when we go from PTGO to PTCG Live. You will only be able to keep 4 copies of any card. A playset of every single card is all you can keep. Anything above that won't convert from PTCGO to PTCG Live. It will simply vanish in the ether. And the reason I say the word playset as well is really important, because for Prism Star cards, for Ace Specs, for Radiant Pokemon, you can only have 1 copy in your collection as well on PTCG Live. So if you have additional copies of those, you can also look to trade those away. Even if you're getting non-playable cards right now, as long as they're a card that isn't something that you already have 4 copies of, it's better to just trade those things away. If you're going for super geeky optimization, try and trade with some of your friends, maybe some sets that you've opened much more of than them, and you can just throw commons and uncommons between you, making sure that the sort of 30 Litleos or whatever you have gets distributed among your friends who don't have them, and you can get random common and uncommons back from them. The idea is just fill out as many sets as you can, because it means whenever you then open those sets in PTCG Live, if ever you're sort of giving them on Battle Pass or this, that, and the other, it means that they give you, again, maximum credit conversion. Credit is the most important currency in PTCG Live, because that's what we use to craft the cards physically, because the trading is gone, of course, on PTCG Live. So credits are the new king. So making sure that you have as filled out of a collection as possible on PTCGO is really, really important. So that's what you want to go for. I think really go from the top down. If you have excess copies of VMAXs, V-Stars, regular Vs, full art cards, anything like that, gold cards certainly, any of the high value stuff, start there on your trading mission and try and accumulate other things that you think that you may want to craft in future. Again, if you're super worried about just collecting or whatever, you can keep whatever you want, but you're going to lose anything that's above 4 copies. And again, it combines the total. So if you happen to have 4 physical Zacian V and 2 locked Zacian V, that means you're allowed to trade away the 2 of your 4 tradable versions, because you would only need to bring with you your 2 locked and your 2 tradables. That's a playset. You will keep those. Also, bear in mind that the sort of different copies or the different variations of a certain card stay with you as well, which is a little bit annoying, actually, on PTCG Live, just a preference thing. Don't know why that is the case, because you can end up having like 12 different Professor's Research with you, just the different artworks. So just a small thing there, but it doesn't matter. As long as you're sticking to those playsets, they'll stay with you. I would also say just a small thing here, a time-saving thing. If you have deck lists that you're happy with, you could export them onto maybe a spreadsheet or something else like that for the time being, knowing that you can then import them in live later. Your sort of deck collection doesn't port over when you migrate. So you lose time and effort if you have lots of expanded decks, or if you have lots of GLC, or even standard decks that you're tweaking here and there. If they're right up to date and something that you're proud of, you may want to export those and have them for safekeeping elsewhere, so that you can import again into Live. The conversion will work. It'll be the same copy, paste, import, export thing. It just doesn't do it automatically for you when you migrate. It really just focuses on the collection pieces. This is the most important thing of this entire slide, though. Celebrations is the key to PTCG Live right now. This is really the thing that you want to crack. And if you only have a limited collection right now on PTCGO, you want to be trading for every playset possible of Celebrations. You want to complete Celebrations in full, including the VMAXs, including the I can't remember what they're called, but the textured sort of old cards, like the Donphan Prime, the the Mewtwo EX, the Blastoise, all these sort of old cards, the Rockets admin. Get 4 copies of all of those things because the way that you get credits in PTG Live is if you get excess cards from booster packs. So, say we open a pack in PTG Live and we already have 4 Ho-Oh in our collection, and we pull a 5th Ho-Oh, it immediately turns into credits. And the reason why Celebrations is so great is A, it's a small set, so this is easy to do, but B, every single card pulled treats itself as a holo rare because that's the rarity of the cards within Celebrations, the sort of the in air quotes what would be commons, the things that you see a lot of coming up in Celebrations packs over and over again, they're treated as holo rare cards. So you get really excellent conversion. So they're so important to make sure that you fill out your Celebrations set on PTGO. Make sure you have playsets of all of the gang, the entire set, including the extra cards. And yeah, you will set yourself up for farming credits going into live. Let's remind ourselves a little bit of the different currencies in PTG Live. I've talked about it a lot. Coins, I really don't care about this because this is really just for cosmetic reasons on your character that looks like death anyway. But you can get this via the some daily quests. You can get coins, but also the premium battle pass seems to have lots more coin giveaways than the basic battle pass does. So just a small thing there. The premium battle pass is something that you have to pay crystals for. Whereas the regular battle pass is the sort of free to play version, I guess you could say. Crystals is a pretty handy currency. Really, crystals and credits are intertwined. You can basically ignore coins if you don't care about cosmetics, but crystals is the thing that allows you to buy packs and also pay for the premium pass and premium pass plus, which is actually massive and really unlocks a lot for you. So the main reason we love crystals is because it can get us towards those juicy Celebrations packs, but also can pay for the battle pass if you're playing enough Pokemon on PTG Live. So these crystals are obtained via daily quests completion and also completion of the battle pass here and there, which is very handy. I think definitely the premium battle pass has a good amount of these that you can sort of make back on the investment, which is really nice because the premium pass has a few additional cards that you can get unlocked along the way, like V and V stars. Right now, the premium battle pass is giving away Regidrago and various other dragon type stuff, including things like a Giratina V star. So it seems to be decent value as you climb the premium battle pass if you play enough PTCG Live. Now, right now, I've not hit the button on the premium battle pass myself. But the great thing about the Premium Battle Pass is that it sort of backdates for you. So whenever you hit that button, you can go and redeem all the previous stuff as you've laddered up. So you don't have to make that decision on the Premium Battle Pass immediately. You can sort of do it at a later date, or when you hit a certain target, if there are cards that make you think, oh, at this point it's worth this amount of crystals to me to go ahead and redeem the stuff that I can. So that's really great. So this is a very good currency for buying the Celebrations packs mostly, but also the Battle Pass or the Premium Battle Pass, I should say, every 3 months, which is the rotation of that Battle Pass. That's how long it lasts for. Like I said, the most premium thing of all is credits. Credits is what lets you craft cards. There is no more trading in PTCG Live. That is completely gone. You are entirely restricted to your credits. This is the thing that's going to let you craft cards from new sets or cards for new decks the entire time. This is very, very good if you only care about playing 1 or 2 decks in the format, but is going to be quite expensive if you want to try out weird rogue wacky stuff all the time, especially if those weird rogue wacky things require lots of various VMAX and V Star Pokemon. So I think the ladder is going to be a little bit more restrictive than it is on PTCGO right now. It probably means that most people are going to just be playing like the 3 or 4 best decks in the game, because that's where basically all your credits will funnel into early, and then people will use the better decks to climb the battle pass quicker. So that'll be an interesting interaction and maybe a fairer reflection of what an actual metagame would be, because now it sort of boils down to efficiency in getting crystals and getting credits. That is something more akin to sort of IRL, really, where your actual investment has to go, which is quite an interesting dynamic, just as a off-the-cuff thing to talk about. But, like I said, these credits are mostly obtained when you pull an excess card from a set or from a pack, so that it will immediately convert this is the cost of things to craft, and the sort of credit cost that you gain immediately from a pack is usually a quarter of the value for lower value stuff, and I believe it's a third of the value for the other stuff. But things to bear in mind, yeah, it's pretty top heavy. V stars costing 1,000 credits, V's costing 750. It means that it's very easy to get lots of the trainer cards early on in a new set, etc. And lots of like one prize stuff should be very easy to acquire. It's really just honing in on VMAX and the higher end stuff that's going to cost you too much. And the way you get these cards is when you go to the deck editor, you can search up cards. There's a filter for show not owned, and then there will be an exchange option here. And then it does tell you the cost. So in the Archeops case, if you hit the exchange button, it would show that it's a rare holo. So it will cost 425 credits to give you an additional copy that then you could add into your deck. So yeah, this is the premium, the most important currency in Live by a mile here. Just wanted to give you a quick example to talk about how much credits we're looking to get each 3 months, essentially, where you want to have access in theory to everything good, everything playable from the latest set. So this is just a real short list of what I would expect Lost Origins to be. I didn't want to do it for Silver Tempest because it was kind of disingenuous when we get given so much good stuff on the Battle Pass with Lugia. I want to give credit where it's due. If the Battle Pass is ever as good as it is right now in Silver Tempest, where we essentially get a workable Lugia deck just by playing for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, pretty easily. That's insane, and the Battle Pass refreshes every 3 months. So in theory, every new set release, we will get access to at least one of the higher tier decks. It may not be as obvious, as good as Lugia every time, but the sort of 10k credits I'm saying here for the Giratina deck, maybe you can shave off like 6,000 or 7,000 of this value. If we imagined that had it come out on a battle pass, we would have had a much easier time to get these Giratinas. But just for raw values, based on crafting amounts, for a very reasonable Giratina deck with the 3/3 line, it would cost exactly 10k credits. So that's kind of the amount that we're looking for here. And if you really wanted to have everything available to you from the latest sets, I think Lost Origins a fairly good indicator of this, because it's a number of thick lines of V and V-Star Pokemon all over the shop, a good number of trainer cards, a Radiant, some other random Vs and stuff. We're looking at around 28k credits, I think is a pretty fair total for most sets. I think Lost Origin is a reasonable one to look at. The good news is that you have a long time to accumulate these credits as well. And of course, you're not going to be starting with nothing. You can enter the game right now on PTG Live and start grinding without any credits currently to your name, and you can start earning those as well. So it's not like the rich get richer or anything. It's, you know, the more the merrier sort of thing. I think people will hone in on the top decks first whenever a new set comes out. But realistically, I think even these look like really high numbers, but they're also just way more achievable than PTCGO in terms of the amount that you would have to trade for Giratinas on the first couple opening days. I think this is one of the massive benefits on PTCG Live's front, actually, and one of the main things giving me hope that this can still be a successful game at the end of the day, is that the cost of Giratinas are the same cost as like Drapions or Goodras or any of this other stuff. So it's not going to the highest bidder. It's open to everyone, so it's going to make it a lot easier than it currently is, at the very least, to play the top decks in the game, which is really excellent to say. So yeah, these are some pretty high and intimidating looking numbers, but ultimately I think it's going to be much more friendly to play just the top tier decks than it would be right now on PTCGO. The only upside of PTCGO is if you just keep cycling away a deck, like say you only have the stuff for Giratina and then you want to start testing Kyurem, you can in theory trade away your Tinas, get your Kyurem deck ready to go, and then when you're happy testing Kyurem, you can trade onto the Giratinas. That's a massive time sink, so I still value this sort of credit thing over that. But there's a whole debate around trading versus credits in the first place. I don't want to open that whole can of worms where people say they've traded up their collection from scratch and never put a penny onto PCGO. Like, good for you, but that's also spending tens of hours on not the main function of PTCGO. You're just scrolling through trades all the time, and that's yeah, that's one way to spend your evening, but not something I want to do necessarily. Now that we've established that credits are king in PTCG Live, let's talk about the most efficient way. And we've already touched on this earlier when I said you want to get playsets of your celebrations cards on PTCGO as quickly as possible, because that means your gold mine is going to be the Celebrations 6-pack offer here for 1,120 crystals, because that gives you insane credits. As you can see here, all of these holo rares that I'm pulling are giving me a lot of cash back in terms of credits here. So absolutely bonkers how great a value all of this stuff is. There's also a ton of V and V maxes that you can pull from here as well. So you just get into big buckaroos, and that's what we're all about here, because it means you can transfer them into the actual cards that you do want here. So that's really the whole deal. Almost all of your crystals will be going into celebrations packs until you can't anymore. So yeah, that's going to be the entire process. Ignore the rest of the shop, ignore the recommended, ignore the shiny offers that they give you. They are terrible compared to celebrations, which are just absolutely busted. So yeah. The final thing to say really is I'm basically just playing live right now to grind those dailies. I think getting your foot through the door, getting some credits on the go, getting some crystals as you navigate through the battle pass. You easily get crystals just by doing your daily quests, which are super easy. It's literally like play 3 games or without conceding or stuff like this, dealing damage to your opponent's Pokemon in a single hit, like dealing 100 damage. You can do that in your first game, and that's one of your 2 dailies done very, very quickly. And like I said, crystals, they're really busted and they're slow to come by. So starting your daily quest grind now will give you that starting point by the time we get to February, March, April, those sorts of time zones that I'm thinking is more likely that we will start seeing the sunset period of PTCGO, because that will be the end of I can't remember the name of the tournament. The team challenge, that'll be the end of the latest team challenge series, which is being played on PTCGO. So at the very least, March is like the absolute earliest date that we'll see the sunset period of PTCGO. But it could be, you know, as this game changes, and depending on how much they want to change with live, I feel like it could be later than that. So we have no concrete evidence, but if you just start grinding those dailies now, you can have a really huge backlog of crystals that you can convert to credits, which means on, you know, proper job, no more PTGO, let's start playing live, release day, it means that you'll have a huge backlog and your account will be ready to rumble on day one with whatever set is out at the time, which is excellent. I've literally just started, as you can see. I've played a few games now. I've just been playing Lugia, basically. That's it. I've been playing the Lugia deck that they give you. Obviously made a few changes from what they had. I think I just added some Blissies, essentially, was like the big difference that I had. Obviously took out the Archons and the and the Fossils and stuff like that. But yeah, the deck is good. It's competitive on the ladder. You don't need to have any extra cards to be winning games with that deck at all. It's very solid. You'll be running into a lot of mirror matches. You'll be running into a lot of Bliss tanks. You'll be running into a lot of Zacian Zamazentas, because these are the decks that other people get for free. But yeah, the Lugia deck is absolutely busted. By the time you get to tier 8 as well, I've literally only been playing like this week, and I'm already like halfway there. But by this point, I'll have a 4-3 line of Lugia. I'll have 2 V-Guard energy, and I'll have a Choice Belt as well, which is really nice. You can see the bottom line here is the premium pass, which is why you're getting so much crystal cashback. But it also helps you get on your way towards some dragon stuff. And I am honestly still debating whether or not I want to hit the button on the premium pass, because it could give me access to some dragon stuff as well, which would save me crafting them, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, the basic battle pass is completely free to just grind through, and you tier this up by completing your daily quests naturally and just by playing games naturally. You don't need to play a huge amount each day. Spend 10 minutes on it, and you will start grinding your account and getting towards those sweet rewards. So yeah, that's all I have to say on PTG Live. I did get a bit rambly, but ultimately I'm enjoying live. I've not experienced many horrific bugs. I think I've had 1 or 2 things that's made me pull a bit of a face, but normally it's actually working pretty well. I've not disliked my experience on live at all. I think it's very reasonable, and just to get your foot in the door, get your collection ready to go, makes a ton of sense for me. Because, you know, like it or hate it, this will be the future of the TCG online and how we play. There's no way around that, so you kind of got to get on board if you want to make the most out of it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hope this was helpful, and hope this reminded you that the beta is still ongoing and it is downloadable for everyone now across the globe. And I hope this gave you some insight into my early starts on PTCG Live. I'll probably be doing, once I've had a few more games under my belt, a bit of constructive criticisms of Live, or sort of things I'd like to see different, things I'd like to see changed. But I'm still just enjoying my experience. I'm still really newbie on PTCG Live, so I'm still learning a lot about it, and I want to sort of gather my thoughts into a slightly different video before this one becomes an hour long. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you for another video tomorrow. Cheers.